was the chilling sound of your doom.
This is the way the world could end.
Please, show some mercy.
With ice. With a kiss.
With venom. I probably should have mentioned this. I'm poison. Poison ivy.
And the only man who can stop them.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
Can't do it alone.
Batman will watch his beloved Gotham perish.
Bundle up, boys. There's a storm coming.
Kill the heroes!
It's the hockey team from hell.
Cool party.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
All right, everyone, chill.
George Clooney.
Julie, I'm not the marrying kind.
I know you've had your wild nights.
Good night. Wild doesn't quite cover it.
Chris O'Donnell.
I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
This is why Superman works alone.
Uma Thurman.
So many people to kill. So little time.
Alicia Silverstone.
And you are?
Batgirl.
That's not awfully PC. What about Bat Person?
Found the Batcave.
She knows who we are.
Guess we'll just have to kill her.
Yep.
In a Joel Schumacher film. Strength and courage.
Partners?
Honor
Partners.
and loyalty.
Partners.
It all comes together.
We're going to need a bigger cave.
Batman and Robin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ranked and Reviewed, where we are doing our Batman Ranked and Reviewed series. And today we are doing Batman and Robin. Now, I am your host, Tomye West, and joining me as always is my co-host, Alanins Maximus. And before we get started, everyone who's tuning in, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, like, and share. It would help us out a lot. We're going pretty well with our subscriptions, our subscribers, so we appreciate everyone that's done that. So you appreciate it, don't you, Alan?
I definitely do.
You
It warms my heart.
It warms your heart.
Yes.
We should
And
write
maybe-
Hallmark cards.
My bowels.
We should
I
write
love you
Hallmark
all
cards.
with my bowels.
Let's start a rival card writing company to Hallmark. Loud Mark.
Corridor spot. By Loud.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Our podcasts for me and not for you. I don't know, man. There's only so much material we've got, and not all of it's going to be A+.
No.
Some of it's going to come in at really, really low scores. Anyway, we're here today, as we said, to do Batman and Robin. Now, this movie came out in 1997. And before we get into our thoughts, let's give a quick overview of it. This movie came out, as I said, 1997, PG-13, which it goes for 2 hours and 5 minutes. But before I get into more, do you think that this movie, being PG-13, along with Batman Forever being PG-13, makes any sense when you compare it to the new movie being PG-13?
No. I mean, maybe...
What the fuck, man?
Maybe Batman Returns and the new Batman, not that much of a drastic difference, but this, yeah.
Batman Returns in Australia was rated M+, M15+, right? Was it? Am I
I
wrong
don't
there?
think so. I'm fairly certain it would have to have been.
I distinctly remember looking at the video cover and it had M15+ on it, which is mature. PG in Australia is parental guidance, which is a stepped lower than M15 plus. So for everyone watching that's not from Australia that doesn't know our rating system, it's G, meaning general audiences. PG, parental guidance, is recommended. M, 15 plus. MA, 15 plus, which is confusing as fuck. And then there's...
MA is restricted, so you have to be 15.
You have to be 15 plus, whereas M, 15 plus, means that you can have people with you that are 15 and over taking you to the movie. So like your parents and things, yeah?
Yeah.
And then there's R, which is restricted to 18 plus. So to make sense of that for everyone, these movies are rated... Okay, so wait. Is the new Batman movie rated M in Australia or PG?
I would feel it would have to be M.
It has to be, right?
It has to be.
I'm looking it up. I'm going to look it up. The Batman 2022 Australian age rating Australia. Let's have a look. M. So, what? Okay, maybe someone in America can write in and tell me, is PG-13 the sort of same as an M for us? Or is PG-13 a PG like our PG, which means that kids can watch it all day, every day? But parental guidance is recommended. So please, if anyone can help us out with that, might ease some of our issues here, because right now, I don't know what's going on. Because that new Batman movie, that wasn't far off being an MA, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A couple of more like swear words or something, maybe a bit more, I think some blood, it might have been MA, because there was no blood, really, eh?
They were taking everything kids liked and making it scare kids.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, let's get into a bit more of the overview. This movie stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is billed at the top as... I've got some really great trivia on Arnold Schwarzenegger for this movie, but it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, billed right at the top there. George Clooney, Chris O'Donnell, Uma Thurman, and Alicia Silverstone. Its writers are Bob Kane, credited as the Batman character's writer, and then Akiva Goldsman. And it was directed again by Joel Schumacher, who directed Batman Forever. And this movie seems to be this movie seems to be a big hit, Alan, because it's got a 3.7 out of 10 on IMDb. Sounds like it fucking... People love it, man.
But on a scale of Morbius to 3.7.
I haven't seen Morbius yet, man, so I can't fairly do that. Right now, I'm just going to have to look at this movie as what it is. So I'll give you everyone a quick... okay, so I'm going to go without doing the big synopsis for everyone. The blurb. I'm just going to do a quick one because I'm sure everyone knows what this movie is about. And literally, there isn't much more than you need to know than this. Batman and Robin try to keep their relationship together as they stop Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy from freezing Gotham City. Now, I can't be bothered going into further more details than that, because that is literally as much as you need to know about the plot of this movie.
Oh, wait, I missed it at the start of the episode, but before we go on, everyone out there, I still see you!
Sorry, man. I just feel like I got hit by a truck then. Nice to see you. Just chill, bro. So, let's get into our thoughts, I guess, on this masterpiece of a movie. Alan, like always, you go first.
I feel I have to enter by saying it's an interesting and I think provocative point of view, but this movie appeals to the side of me that grew up on the Adam West Batman, the bat dance, the helicopter with the shark repellent in it, the overly camp, ridiculous Batman. I think if you're out to watch a serious, dark Batman, like the first movies, even Batman Forever partially did, you're going to be disappointed. But if you want something that is just ridiculous, and it only makes sense to me that Joel Schumacher wanted to make something ridiculous in Adam Westy. And I like this movie. I'm in that small minority that will die on that hill. And we probably will die because people like Tomye will kill me for saying this. Like,
I don't want to even know your ranking. I already don't even want to know. And we're not getting into that for a long time in this episode, and I'm already dreading it. You know what I'm saying? So what you're saying is you really like this movie.
Yes, it has a soft spot in my heart. I can understand if we can't be friends anymore.
I just don't know what to do with you, man. Look, I get why you like it because you're kind of embracing the campiness, you're embracing the lameness, you're embracing the terrible acting, you're embracing the terrible plot, you're embracing the terrible villains, you're embracing the terrible.
That's it. I'm embracing the terrible.
You're just embracing just everything terrible. So I wish this was bourbon or something right now, man. And I don't even drink alcohol. So for me, coming out of Batman Forever and having to watch this really quickly, like I literally had to watch Batman Forever last night, and then half of this last night, and then the rest before we started today. And coming out of Batman Forever, for everyone that's watched our review of Batman Forever, you both know I really like that movie. Alan and everyone knows I like that movie. I put it at number 1. And I don't know why. I'm still questioning myself at the moment, but I put it at number 1. And so far we've done Batman 1989, Batman Returns, and The Batman, along with Batman Forever, and now this. And I couldn't like this movie coming out of Batman Forever, man. Literally, we should be reviewing right now. It shouldn't be called Batman Ranked and Reviewed. It should for Batman and Robin. It should be called Ranked and Reviewed Batman on Ice, because the whole movie, while they weren't on ice the whole time and doing pretty much a choreographed dance, the whole movie still had that feel throughout the rest of the movie. And I mean, come on, man. He skidded down a dinosaur like Fred Flintstone. And that entry, "Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman." He can't keep his head still, that George Clooney. So tell me, like, what you really like about the plot, and tell me why you think the villain. Let's back up. Beep, beep, beep. Do you like the villains in this more than you like the villains in Batman Forever? Please say no.
For completely polar opposite reasons. I couldn't say I like them more, but Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, just that sentence by itself could never be good. Not in the way that most people would say Batman is good. But can it be terrible? And that terrible, if you like that, it's good. That's what it is. And yeah. Those one-liners, the whole movie, all his ice puns and his terrible enunciation as well. It's
Now, the interesting thing is, do you know how much Arnold Schwarzenegger got paid for the role?
I'm assuming a lot.
$25 million.
Well,
and now I'm sure there's going to be some trivia that we're going to bring up about that, but I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it yet. But 25 million, I'm pretty sure it made him the highest paid ever actor for a movie ever. I'm pretty sure. I think it's still like the highest amount paid, like one of the highest amounts paid to an actor to play a role. And it was he only wanted they only offered him that much because they really wanted him in the role, but he was busy doing a bunch of other roles at the same time. So he requested like an obscene amount of money. But imagine offering an actor 25 million in this day and age. Like, what actor would you think has that kind of draw, and what franchise would, you know what I mean? Like, tell me what you think a franchise nowadays that has that kind of draw for one of the actors that they have in mind for the role. Like, you couldn't.
Really, you couldn't. No, and I think even if you think of like Downey Jr., who they pretty much knew they had to have for Iron Man, I think even at his most, it wasn't even half of that. Like, I think he was at most about 10 million. I'm
trying to find the trivia. I was going to leave it till later, but I'm trying to find out exactly how much he got paid so we can hold on. Where is it all? Oh, there's some great trivia we're going to get into later. There's some absolutely funny. Okay, so Arnold Schwarzenegger is reputed to have earned 25 million for playing Mr. Freeze. Oh, come on, I want to see like if he only worked 6 weeks on the film as well. So he got paid.
I can remember from interviews back in the day in the scene where he's actually like half dying and after the end fight. Apparently there wasn't that much acting required because he just had heart surgery or something like that. So he was legitimately not feeling great.
Yep.
But I mean, for 25 million, that I can understand why he just got out of heart surgery and then came back to finish what he was doing.
Did you know that Joel Schumacher once said in an interview that if Arnold Schwarzenegger had not wanted to play Mr. Freeze, Sylvester Stallone was his second choice, and or Hulk Hogan.
Oh man, that would have been terribly awesome. I want to see that movie. Hulk Hogan is Mr. Freeze. Like, could you imagine that?
I could understand John Cena. You know what I mean? But Hulk Hogan, I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
All right, Batman, brother.
I don't know what would have happened, man. I don't know if this movie would have come out way worse or than it already was, or a little bit better because. By the way, I know we should save this for trivia, but just because we're talking about Mr. Freeze at the moment, I just found out that he did a total of 27 ice puns.
Why not 28? Surely there's room for one more. It would have been Ice to See.
No. Nah. I just thought the plot in this was a lot more weak. I thought that Mr. Freeze, like, they kind of tried to take the story of Mr. Freeze that we got in the animated series with that Heart of Ice, I believe it's called, episodes, about his wife, Nora, who is dead but cryogenically frozen, and she wants to be able to bring her back to life, but needs to freeze Gotham in order to make it livable for him and her to live. So they'd already done that story in the Batman animated series, and they did it a lot better. Uma Thurman's job playing Poison Ivy, every line she delivered felt like a stage play. Felt like she was about to break out in song. Bane was just a giant mess of a character. He was just like a, Bane! Like, just terrible. You know what I mean? So, to me, the plot, the villains, George Clooney as Batman / Bruce Wayne, everything was just 10,000 times worse than Batman Forever.
I think Bane's costume, I did like that more than the Dark Knight costume. Because just the mask and the backpack and the venom, that it was closer to the Bane I know. Everything else aside is terrible, but the mask was cool.
I just don't find anything cool about this movie, man. Not anything. Like, everything to me was overdone. I didn't like Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl. I thought she was terrible. Like, you know, she's like, oh, my parents died 5 years ago in a car accident, and Uncle Alfie, and just everything she did was just fucking shit. I don't like Chris O'Donnell. I already said that he annoys me in Batman Forever, but I gave it a pass because I enjoyed the other parts of the movie and everything a lot more than that. So for this movie to have everything worse and then everything that I didn't like about the previous installment to still be there, just fucking made me angry. It made me mad, Alan. And I talked about how much I didn't like Batman Returns. I like Batman Returns a lot more than I like this movie. So I think that's going to give everyone a good idea of where my ranking sits if you have been tuning in previously. But the score in this was very similar to Batman Forever, where I think it was utilized well. There was a little bit more cartoonish, score-ish sounds in some parts, but this is the perfect example for me is the fact that they go into space, then they drop it out of the sky and use boogie boards to go down the fucking buildings in Gotham, and Chris O'Donnell playing Robin yells out "Cowabunga" like he's one of the teenage fucking Ninja Turtles. This movie is just one travesty after the next. I can't, man. I can't. Like, tell me a little bit more about some of the things you like. Oh, wait. One other thing. The CG during the Mr. Freeze chase was fucking hilarious. It looked like a PlayStation 2 game's CG cutscenes. It was laughable, bro. Compared to some of the like CG in Batman Forever, I felt like this was overdone in a lot of areas, and it was shocking.
Yeah.
It aged way worse than Batman Forever. Way worse.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit more about what you like and maybe some of the points you have to counteract mine, or maybe some of the points you agree with mine.
I think the reasons you hate it are definitely valid. And if I didn't like the terrible side of it, if I didn't embrace the terrible side of it, I would definitely agree with you. And I think there was a time where I was kind of like, when I first saw this movie, I was like, this is what the hell am I watching? Like, what has happened? But then I kind of put two and two together with the Adam West side of things and kind of went, well, that's what they were doing. So, I mean, there's the only real leg I have to stand on. I mean, as I said earlier, it had to be that terrible. Like, he pulls out a Bat credit card. Like,
I forgot about that.
Really concerned if Joel Schumacher took this movie seriously, and especially knowing he was going to have Hulk Hogan as his third in line to play Mr. Freeze. Even George Clooney is Batman. The only thing I think that works for a good Batman is he looks good in the suit. If it's a still frame.
We can't stop doing this. He's always like that. He's like, and excuse me.
He's like the living pop vinyl.
He is, man. Dude, and I like George Clooney. Don't get me wrong. I love Ocean's 11. I think Ocean's 11's great. I love that he was in voice in the South Park movie. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
You know the part when Kenny dies? And then
yeah.
wake him in the hospital, and he's like, Kenny, the doctor? That's George Clooney.
Yeah.
And then when he's like, we accidentally replaced your heart with a baked potato. That is George Clooney. So I love that he has a sense of humor about himself, because they ripped on him in South Park before. They ripped on George Clooney, and he still was happy to come along and do a voice, and he was begging him to do a voice, and it was such a shit role. Like, it wasn't like a big role. He came in and it was a doctor for 30 seconds of the movie. It never gets any easier. Just whistles as he's walking off. That's all he does in that movie, and it's awesome. So I like George Clooney. But yeah, apparently one director, I think it might have been Steven Spielberg or something, said that they would hire George Clooney more for the roles if he could just stop moving that fucking head.
I don't know why he does that. What? I don't get it.
Oh man. But by the way, I didn't like Ocean's 12 or 13. Those were garbage movies. Just on a side note, Ocean's 11 was great, but so what did you think about the whole thing of? We didn't get to talk about it before, Nicole Kidman, as much as I would have liked to in Batman Forever. But what do you think about the love interest in this one?
I feel that her and Chase Meridian are just kind of there because they have to be, because it's the formula.
Can I ask, was Nicole Kidman's Chase Meridian? Because listen, I was a Batman, as I've said before, I collected Batman comics. I know a lot about Batman. I know I had all these first appearances of villains and shit in comic books and stuff. Like, I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable about Batman. I can get all the Easter eggs. It's sort of like hints for the comic book fans and stuff. Like, I know pretty in-depth stuff. But is Chase Meridian just a made-up character for that movie, or was she actually in the books at one point? Because I don't think I've ever had a book with her in it, and if so, I don't remember it.
I have absolutely no idea. It would not surprise me if she was made up for it.
So was this? This is Elmer
McPherson's character's name in this.
I don't even remember, but it's so weird that they're planning on getting married and shit. Like, what the fuck? He wants to get married, and George Clooney keeps going I don't want to get married. I'm too busy, doing being Batman. Like, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. What did you think about the love interest in this?
I think it was just there because they felt it had to be there. It plays such a insignificant part as well. Like, it's I don't think she's even involved in being taken captive or anything like that. So there's not even that aspect. She's just there.
Yeah, and what I do have to say is we complimented, for Batman Returns, some of the wardrobe of the skull guy and stuff like that on the motorbike and shit like that. What I am going to say is the complete opposite for this movie, which is it was overdone, bro. It looked like, and I'm not trying to be rude about this or anything, it looked like a drag show. Everyone was just
what about Bane in the gorilla suit? Monkey, walk.
Dude, he was so fucking dumb in this movie. He was so dumb. And look, I like Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. I think he's one of the best parts about the movie in The Dark Knight Rises. The rest of the movie is so trash. That first plane scene with Bane, is so fucking good. And yeah, his voice might be a little stupid. It might sound a little dumb because they re-recorded his lines, but I still like that voice because it was something intriguing about it, the whole, well, perhaps he's wondering why somebody shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane. You know what I mean? Nobody cared who I was till I put on the mask. If I pulled that off, will you die? It would be extremely painful. You're a big guy, for you. You know what I mean? So, I like that Bane. I don't like this Bane where he's just Bane, smash! So bad, bro. So bad. And, oh, man, I don't like Mr. Freeze, how he's I just don't like the portrayal by, how he's I don't know, man. I would not have picked Arnold Schwarzenegger to be Mr. Freeze. I wouldn't have picked Sylvester Stallone. I wouldn't have picked Hulk Hogan. I would have picked someone who can actually put on a decent villain act. Sylvester Stallone's already oh, Hulk Hogan's just a wrestler, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's nice to see you. None of them are quality,
What about the scene though where he has all these henchmen singing in the cold?
Oh.
Sing!
George Clooney's there just going, deck the halls with bells of holly, or whatever the fuck. But, oh, man. And yeah, I did not like Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, and I did not like Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl. I just didn't. So for me, I've given this movie the credit I can, which is that the score was all right. Alfred was still okay, like he was in the last movie. I didn't like the Bat car. What are your thoughts on the Bat car?
It is possibly one of my least favorite. I think it's too over the top. I think Batman Forever was pushing it, but this was just, that's not what the Batmobile is. And even when it was ridiculous Adam West Batmobile, that's not what the Batmobile was. It's why do you need all that swirly light in the front of it? Like, yeah, I kind of get that they were kind of going for a cross between the topless I think Cadillac for the original Batmobile and the TV show, but it just looks stupid, like this big tanky car with a little racing driver and his head poking out wobbling.
I agree, man. I totally agree. I didn't like how Poison Ivy was making everyone fall in love with her at all during this. You know, and how Robin and Bruce Wayne are fighting over, and he's like, "Oh, you just love her, and because you love her, no one else can have her." And I'm just like, but yeah, this movie just has so many low points for me. So my thoughts on it are, it's bad. It's really bad. And for me, you'll see my ranking when we fix the rankings in a minute. And I'm sure we're going to all sit there and see Ellen's as well and scratch our fucking heads in disbelief, because I already have a feeling where I know where this is going. And I have a feeling I'm going to have to fucking do this like 3 or 4 times. So before we get into our ranking, though, that's the end of our thoughts. Unless you got anything to add to it, Alan.
No, except you know, I can't think of any more ice quotes, so no, I don't. Come on, man, that's cold.
God! No! So we're gonna get onto some trivia now, because I can't even acknowledge that you just did that, man. All right, so in later interviews, director Joel Schumacher blamed studio pressure to make the film more fun, basically. In a making of documentary on a DVD, he apologized to disappointed fans. George Clooney has been known to refund people who saw this film. George Clooney called the film a waste of money, and in later interviews, he called it the biggest break I ever had, since it got him into Hollywood, resulting in more successful roles later on. When filming was over, George Clooney quipped, "I think we just killed the series." I told you, there's some good fucking tribute to this.
Do you reckon his head wobbled when he said it?
Yeah, he's like, I think we just killed the series, guys. So, Chris O'Donnell confirmed in a 2012 interview that a Robin/Nightwing spin-off was planned alongside Batman Unchained. However, he reported that plans were scrapped after the poor reaction of Batman and Robin. Two extras of the film were arrested and fired after attempting to sell secretly shot footage. After Val Kilmer refused to return for the film, David Duchovny was considered for the role of Bruce Wayne/Batman. Duchovny was later considered for the same role in Batman Begins. Dude, you know how long it's been since I've heard the name David Duchovny? After the film's poor box office returns, several Batman projects were considered for the next Batman movie. One was a direct sequel, Batman Unchained, written by Mark Prodosvich. The second was an adaptation of the graphic novel Batman Year One. The last was a live-action adaptation of Batman Beyond. Instead, the series was rebooted with Batman Begins. You know what? I would have loved to see a Batman Beyond movie. And after the Dark Knight trilogy, people were like, what should they do next? And I was like, isn't the answer simple? Like, forget Batman now because it's already been done perfectly. Let's go to Batman Beyond, where it's a future Batman. Bruce Wayne is a mentor to Terry. Terry can become Batman. And then you're not having to always compare it to the Dark Knight trilogy because it's like a whole new thing. Like, it's Batman, but it's not. You can get away with so much more. And I've never understood why no one has tackled the Batman Beyond storyline in a Batman live action movie, because I almost feel like people are too scared to go there with making Bruce Wayne not the Batman, and they will make Terry Batman. But I think that that's what they need to do. Kind of like it would be cool if they did that with Miles Morales for the Spider-Man movies a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
One thing I would really like to see is the Knight's End and Knight's Fall and Knight's End series, where you have Bane break Batman and you get Azrael as Batman and then his fall from grace. I think that would be incredibly cool to see as well. But then again, I think you'd have the same problems. Bruce Wayne's not Batman for a movie or so.
But he is in it, which is what I think they get away with. You know, have you watched Batman Beyond, the cartoon, the animated series before?
I've seen bits and pieces, and I think they'll need to do some work on the suit. I don't like the mask.
I love it, bro. But I love Batman Beyond, man. Like, I love the animated Batman series, like the original, and I love the Batman series. I don't know if you know that series, the Batman.
That's the one with the Joker. He's got the crazy kind of long hair, and yeah.
Yep, that's awesome, that series. And Batman Beyond, dude, I think I've watched that multiple times because there are some awesome villains in it, like awesome. There are some really cool stories, and everything's just really cool in that world. And I'd love to see that, you know, instead of the Joker being around, like, even though there is a Batman Beyond movie called Return of the Joker, there's like a gang called the Jokers. You know what I mean? And shit like that. So it's like really cool, dude. Like, they go to high school and shit. And, you know, Terry's like, there's a part where they're all like allowed on a train, the Jokers. And he's like, huh, Jokers. You know what I mean? So, like, it's really cool, dude. So anyone that hasn't checked those series out, you should definitely go check them out, because I think that's something we should hope for to see in the next. After the Batman is done, I'm sure it's going to be a new trilogy. The new one with Robert Pattinson. Do you think it's going to be a new trilogy as well?
I think, yeah, the 3, maybe even 4 movies I reckon we'll get out of it.
So it's going to be, you know, that for at least another decade, by the looks of it. So I would love to see that direction taken in a future Batman movie. Hopefully one day. So before we get into our ranking for this one, I thought we'd do what we forgot to do in Batman Forever, which is rank our Batmans and also the villains and the cars in each movie now. So, like, we're from number 1 to what we've done now. So we've done Batman 2022, Batman 1989, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman Robin. Who's your favorite Batman?
My favorite Batman is still Michael Keaton. I'm going to keep him at the top.
What about
you? You were worried for a second, weren't you?
I was. I thought you were going to say Clooney. I thought you were going to say Clooney for a second. So, what about who's your second? So, just give me an order of your Batmans, I guess.
I'll go with Keaton. I'll probably, in all honesty, put Kilmer and Clooney on the same spot.
By the way, that's the CG part that I'm talking about in the background. It looks terrible. Wait for it. Wait for it. I think we already just missed it, but like, yeah, we missed it. Damn it. Yeah. So you said Batman, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer and Clooney on the same sort of thing.
Yeah, and I'll put
Robert Pattinson last.
Batman at the bottom. Yeah.
Okay, so I would go Michael Keaton. Then I would go Val Kilmer. Then I would go Robert Pattinson. And then I would go George Clooney. Fucking hell. Well, I'm going to buy a bobblehead of George Clooney now.
I think I'm as well. I'm going to just buy George Clooney and make him sit on my shelf.
All right, what about Batcar?
Batcar
list.
I'll say, well, it's pretty much the same car. So Batman and Batman Returns, I think it is the same car. So we'll say that's my favorite. Then I'll put the Batman, then Batman Forever, then Batman and Robin.
You know what? I'd probably go the same as you. Maybe switching up the new one from Batman with the original. So I'm not sure. But roughly the same, man. I think that they got gradually worse throughout these current movies, but I'd say that the new one was like definitely cool. Just wasn't as cool as the Tumbler, in my opinion. But I'm a big fan of the Tumbler, so. And last but not least, let's rank our villains from 1 to 4. I would go number 1, Jim Carrey. And because we're doing them as a movie, of course we're going to have to go Two-Face in the same thing, even though I don't like Two-Face in it. But I like the Riddler's performance, like Jim Carrey's as the Riddler performance so much that it definitely stands above for me for Danny DeVito. Hands down, he's the worst out of the lot so far. I'd probably put the new Riddler at number 2. Then I'd put Jack Nicholson's Joker at number 3. And then I'd put Danny DeVito. Then I'd put Danny DeVito at number 4 for Batman Returns as the Penguin. And then I would put all these villains right at the bottom at number 5. Right at the bottom, man. So yeah, I really hated this movie. I can't describe it enough. If I tried to describe it in any more detail, I'd probably have to sit here with a bucket and throw up.
I think I'll have to go with. I'll probably put Batman Forever, the Riddler, and Two-Face at the top. Probably then followed by Nicholson, Joker. Then I'll probably put the new Riddler, Batman Returns, and then Batman and Robin. So, I mean, as much as I love them, it's for the wrong reasons.
I get you. All right, so we are going to get into the part we've all been dreading the most, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into our rankings. Now, Alan, I need you to send me your rankings.
I can do that.
So I can update the ranking. Man, I'm nervous. My heart's racing. I'm worried what you're going to do here.
A tough decision. Where to put it? What to do? Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Oh, no.
You're going to hate me even at this, I think. And I was being harsh to this movie as well.
Man, look, you actually surprised me because I was expecting a lot worse. Okay? I was expecting a lot worse. So I'm going to insert that here.
Whilst we're doing that, I will regale people with ice jokes. What do you get from sitting in the ice too long? A Polaroid. I won't say that one.
I'm lost here for a second. Hold on. What are we missing from you? Okay. Now I get it.
What do you call a cold ghost? Casper.
Oh, no, man. Look what he's doing to me, everybody. All right, so
if the sun shines while it's snowing, what should you look for? Snowbows.
kill me, man. All right, I think I've got it right now. Sorry, it kept fucking up. So, oh wait, no, I got it wrong. Hold on.
With jokes like that, though, I am keen to play Mr. Freeze in this new Batman saga. I mean,
so just to be sure, I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat because I don't want to get this wrong with you. I want to make sure you got it right.
Yes.
That's correct?
Yep, that is correct.
Okay. Well, you're about to witness something different, guys.
You can send hate mail to me as well. I'll leave my email address in the comments.
I guess we're going to do it then. I'm going to bring it in. Give me a second, guys. I can't believe it, man. I want to make sure that's right. Is this right? Whoop.
That is correct on my part. There we have it.
I can't believe you like this movie more than the original.
Will this movie stay in the top 3? Who knows?
I can't believe you like this movie more than the original. I can't, man. I honestly, dude, like this is more of a big moment than fucking last Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. What a spanner in the works, you know? Wow. Well, there you have it, folks. Boy, this has been a wild ride. So, that does it for our ranked and reviewed episode on Batman and Robin. For everyone that doesn't know, this is officially our last ranked and reviewed for Batman. Just for a while, we're putting it on a hiatus until middle of June sort of thing, as our Jurassic Park ranked and reviewed series begins next Tuesday, April 19th, Australian Eastern Standard Time, where we begin with Jurassic Park 1. And every week we deliver a new Jurassic Park movie review for you up until the latest one releases on June 5th, along with our review on the same day. So make sure you tune into all of those because it's going to be fun. Alan hasn't seen the new Jurassic World or Jurassic World 2, so I'm really looking forward to it because I'm really keen to see what his thoughts are and where he ranks them. And yeah, we'll be back with more Batman ranked and reviewed in mid-June with the Dark Knight trilogy. We are also going to keep going with Batman versus Superman, the Lego Batman movie. And if we can fit others in, we will go further if we have to, with a few of maybe the animated things or maybe even the 1966 movie if we can fit it in. But for now, that's been our ranked and reviewed series. And we will see you next week for our Jurassic Park one. I can't wait. I'm really excited. I'm your host as always, Tomye West. Joining me as always is my host, Alanins Maximus. And remember, if you haven't liked, subscribed, or shared yet, do so. It would help us out a lot.
Chill, guys.
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. God, no! See you later, guys.